Hello, my name is Randy Robinson. I'm the National Sales Manager for CIVACON. Today we're going to talk a little bit about an aluminum DOT 406 petroleum tank and some of the key components that are mounted on this tank and what they do. We're going to talk a little bit about the overfill prevention system that protects the trailer when it's being loaded. We're also going to talk about the vapor recovery system, why that's important during the loading and unloading process. So let's get started. An aluminum petroleum trailer will typically have multiple compartments. An easy way to identify how many compartments that are on that particular trailer is to count the number of APIs. If it's a 4-compartment trailer, you'll typically see 4 APIs. Also, since the trailer is made from aluminum, there's some special equipment mounted on the man lid that helps to protect that trailer during loading, unloading, and just temperature fluctuation going down the road. That would be the PAF that relieves pressure in an emergency situation, and the normal vent that breathes in and out pressure and vacuum to help maintain the pressure within that trailer. And the other thing to keep in mind is they're really never empty. They're either full of liquid or full of vapor. In this scenario, we're going to say this trailer just left a retail gas station and we're going to go to load it. So it's actually full of vapors at this point. So let's go ahead and talk about the loading of this trailer. First thing that we're going to do before we load this trailer is we want to make sure it's in a safe condition to load. We do that through by connecting the overfill system. The overfill system is the plug that you connect when you go to load the trailer. You're either going to have a blue optic plug or a green thermistor plug. You may have one or you may have both. It just depends on how that trailer is set up. The important thing to note is this is how the trailer communicates to the rack. So it's looking to make sure that the overfill system is working, and it's making sure that the trailer is grounded in a safe condition to allow for loading. So it looks at the overfill probe to make sure that they're functioning, mounted in the top of the tank. And all that is displayed through a monitor that if everything's working, it gives you a green permanent light and you're ready to load. In certain applications, you may not have an onboard monitor, in which case the rack would be giving you the signal telling you the trailer is safe to load. Now that we have our overfill connected, I want to take a brief second to explain the vapor recovery. You got to remember this trailer in this scenario is full of vapor, so when they go to load it with liquid, they hook up to their API, their load head, and they start to load the liquid from the bottom of the compartment. When that liquid's coming onto the trailer, the vapor is being forced out of the top of the man lid through a vapor vent. That vapor then runs through a vapor rail down to the side of the trailer, and this is where the hose is connected at the rack that takes that vapor from the trailer. So liquid is being pushed in through the bottom, vapor is being pushed up to the top, down to the side, back to the terminal. The emergency valve is located at the belly of the compartment. It connects the API to that compartment with this section of pipe. As product is being loaded through the API, it goes through the API, through the emergency valve, and starts filling that compartment. Why this is called an emergency valve is because of this shear groove right here. It's designed to protect the liquid from pouring out of the tank in an underride accident. If a car were to come and hit the piping, it would break this shear groove off and it would fall off and keep all the liquid inside the compartment. The emergency valve and the vapor vent are air operated. Okay, so let's go into a little bit more detail on the air control system. In this scenario, we have an air control panel that has a master switch and compartment knob switches. The master switch is going to open your vapor vents. It's going to send air up to the vents are going to open, and it's going to come back and give the driver an indication that the vents are open through this pop-up indicator. Down here you'll see the compartment switches that opens and closes the internal valves, the emergency valves. You'll have one switch for every compartment on that trailer. Let's take a minute now to talk about the delivery process on a petroleum trailer. The first thing to keep in mind is the overfill system is not connected like at the loading rack. There's no plug and socket, there's no rack monitor hooked up to this system to make sure it's in a safe condition to be unloaded. It relies heavily on the driver to put it in that safe state to be delivered. The most important thing is making sure the vapor recovery system is open and connected. If you don't have the vapor recovery open, you run a risk of sucking in the compartment, causing damage to the trailer, or worst case, spilling fuel on the ground. So it's very important to make sure the vapor vents are open. So now let's talk about how we're going to get the liquid out of this compartment into the underground tank. So at the retail site, there's an underground compartment that a liquid delivery elbow hooks to. There's also a connection for a vapor recovery elbow to hook to. So a hose connects the API to the liquid delivery elbow, and a hose connects the vapor to the vapor adapter. And as liquid is being unloaded through the compartment, through this path here, it's actually pushing the vapor back up into the compartment. So liquid is being forced out of the tank, and vapor is being forced back into the tank. So when the trailer is done, has completely unloaded all the liquid, it is now full of vapor. We're here at a delivery site at a retail gas station. We're going to quickly walk through a delivery process of a petroleum trailer. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and open my Vaster, and that's going to open all my vapor vents, and you can see here with this pop-up indicator that my vents are indeed open. And so now let's make sure our vapor recovery is hooked up. Our vapor adapter, this black hose, is hooked up to our vapor line. You can see it following down to our vapor elbow here in the underground tank. And you can see we have our liquid elbow connected on compartment number 4, connected to the liquid delivery elbow in the underground tank. So our internal valve's open. Now we're ready to open up compartment number 4 and start the delivery of product. As soon as we open this handle, we're pouring product down this hose into the underground tank, and at the same time the vapor is being pushed up through the vapor elbow, through the hose, and then back into the compartment. So that's a high-level overview of how a trailer is unloaded.